Good morning. It's a big morning.
We had, we think, Cutlass bearing issues yesterday between Northwest Creek and where we are now, which is Oriental, North Carolina.
Yeah.
We had actually turned down Adams Creek towards Beaufort Moorhead and made the decision to turn around and come back. We are headed over to Zimmerman Marine here in North Carolina, Oriental. They got a pretty good reputation, and the plan was for them to put the yard manager aboard for an hour or so to assess the situation. So yeah, we're gonna just quickly motor over to Zimmerman and kind of take it step by step from there and see what ends up happening here. So,
yep.
Hope for the best.
Hi there, I'm Matt, and this is my wife Kim and our daughter Aria, and we have decided to become live-aboard sailors. I know, we're nuts, but we think we're in good hands.
Steer the boat to starboard!
Okay, so prop walks are going to pull us out, right? So I want you to slip that line first.
And there's Zimmerman's.
Hi, Pepper. Hi. Oh, you don't need the sniffs, do you? You're just like, pet me. Pet me. Oh, man, hello. Hello, pup buddy. Hello, how are you? Good, yourself? Good. I called yesterday. This is deep.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not very good.
So we took the mechanic out for a motor for about an hour or so, and his thoughts were that as a result of what we're calling the Great Accidental Disassembly from episode 18 and 19, if you haven't seen them, you can check those out here. Because the flanges came unbolted fairly violently at that, it's pretty likely that the engine alignment might have got knocked out of whack. Combine that with our less than perfect Cutlass bearing, and now we're getting a very intermittent vibration or shudder throughout the drivetrain, which is likely a harmonic caused by the prop shaft being preloaded against one side of the Cutlass bearing. And then, depending on the changing loads on the prop, like things like sea state, current, and any number of other factors, the prop shaft sort of chatters sort of away from that preloaded section that it's been touching most of the time. Once we were back on the dock at Zimmerman, they needed to have a chat about what the findings of our little cruise were and talk about things like scheduling and otherwise. So we just went back to the boat and had some lunch. Alright, so we had a conversation with these guys over at Zimmerman here about what needs to happen to the boat. They're obviously mechanics, and they're also very highly rated. They have a very good reputation for doing things well, doing it right. They can't half-ass it. I can I can DIY something back together, but they can't. They're a professional business, reputation riding on it. But what they're proposing is like a huge bill. I think that they would do a fantastic job and make it right. I have no doubt about that because they're seemingly really know what they're talking about. The problem is that's just way too much money, especially because a bunch of this stuff I can do myself. So we are deciding to go back to Northwest Creek. Unfortunately, we are having to turn around and go back to where we were with our tails between our legs. There's a work yard there that's nearby, the Duck Creek Yard, which is where we had the boat hauled during the survey originally. We're going to go back to them, and that way we can do a bunch of the work ourselves because they're a lot more DIY oriented, but they also have the professional staff to be able to do the things that I can't do. So we are going to head home. We're all more than a little bit upset about it. You know, but it is what it is. We didn't expect this. It's certainly not what we wanted. but we also can't afford it to get it sorted out. The other side of it too is that, but they're also saying minimum of 3 weeks, probably more like a month before they can even start on our boat. And then it's probably another 2 to 3 weeks to do the work after that. Just that alone puts us beyond the snowbird visa, if you will. We have 6 months in the States, kind of no questions asked, as long as we don't work. And yeah, that like, you know, month and a half, almost 2 months potentially by the time all that's sorted out, is beyond that threshold. So really not ideal, obviously. For now, I'm going to go talk to them and tell us what our decision is. Depending on what their timeline is, I might get them to do the engine alignment, flange alignment, flange assessment. I might not. We'll see. I would like for them to do it so that we can do part of the equation now and assess how much of a difference it made on the way back to Northwest Creek tomorrow or the next day kind of thing. We'll just have to see. We'll see what they say. So, let's go see what they say.
Unfortunately, there was no room in their schedule for them to drop everything for us. So we paid our bill for their assessment and declined further service. And they even let us spend the night on their dock. Thank you, Zimmerman Marine. So with that, we decided to head out for a walk.
Well, here we are back where we were last night. There's Lady Deborah on that end. Ooh-wee, she is a wee bit chilly this morning. So yeah, we're still over at Zimmerman Marine. It's about 7:30 in the morning, maybe 7:45 now. And we're just fired up and shove off here in the not too distant future and make our way back to Northwest Creek this morning. But very dewy and a little bit frosty this morning, so we might take our time getting out of here and let things warm up just a little bit before we go.
That is the same boat as we have, Endeavor 40. Might be a 42, but we weren't 100% sure. Very similar. You can see the distinctive step down right there, the side deck step down.
And then we were off.
All right, well, we are underway. Yeah. Oriental in the background there. If I get up here, you can see it a little better probably. We're, how do we feel? You know, we're not stoked. It's a weird thing. Like, I'm happy to be going back to friends that we've made and like familiar, not climbs, familiar, whatever, places. But at the same time, I'm simultaneously
We were so ready to go.
so bummed.
Yeah. And it took a lot to, like, get the nerve up to go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That was all wasted energy.
Oh, it wasn't wasted. It was practice. So yeah, we are, we're just clearing out a Oriental area and headed back up the Neuse River, back to Northwest Creek.
Here we go. Hopefully we're only there for a week or two.
Yeah, we hope to. Yeah, we hope to be able to get what needs to be done as quick as possible and get back out here and get gone again. But we'll see how that goes.
We're not rushing it though.
Yeah, I'm not going to rush it. These are serious enough issues that it's got to be. You know, there's parts of it that have to be done right. There's parts of it that have to be hired out. There's other parts of it I can do myself. And I'm probably going to jump just about straight onto that, like tomorrow or the next day. I need to do probably actually an editing day tomorrow, and then the next day I'll jump straight onto prepping for that.
Yeah.
So.
And I need to call the American government.
Yeah, we got to see.
Please let us stay.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can get an extension to our 6 months. We can be in the States because that would change things as well and take some of the time pressure off.
Yeah.
This is where you want to keep my like a hand on the furler, right? Like today there's no wind, so it don't matter. So, you know, I think if I took the throttle off with just this sail up, I think we'd drop to like a half. Not a half, maybe. Which is fine. All right. I feel better already. We may be headed back to Northwest Creek. We may be headed back to Northwest Creek, which is a bummer, but we're doing it under sail, fully under sail, and we're doing 3.7 knots, and we're almost going in the right direction. Hell yeah.
Are we? It's still turning.
I said almost. I got it set on wind vane mode right now, so it's like following the wind. We're doing, well, the wind's kind of all over the place. Now we're doing 3.6 knots and 6 knots of wind. So, I mean, it's kind of all over. The angle changes, the whatever, but I figured the lesser wear and tear we can do on the Cutlass and otherwise, the better. So,
Well, our old friend is behind us. The marina that we've been at since we became liveaboards. We're heading back. You happy to be going back there? Because we're comfortable there. We have friends there. Kind of looking forward to that part, but obviously not for the best reasons. I'd much rather be heading south, but this is where we're at. Maybe he'll stay longer. Maybe he'll stay the whole time. Such cool looking birds. Yeah. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's watching us. Was that a cool bird? Thank you.
Northwest Creek, baby. These guys are the best. That's why we came back. Hello. Welcome to my engine space.
Your second engine room.
This is Atlas. Is beating heart. So like we talked about before, we got imbalance issues, we got a bit of a shudder, we got things going on. So we had many guests swing by and, render an opinion on what they think's going on. And some people have had previous issues similar to this before. Others are mechanically inclined. Others have mechanical backgrounds, all kinds of things. Sort of the culmination of all of that would be, we know the Cutlass bearing is not in perfect condition. If you don't know what a Cutlass bearing is, the prop shaft is attached to the transmission. It goes through the hull, rides through a bearing, and then continues on to the prop. It's like a rubber-lined tube that the shaft rotates directly on. Our Cutlass is not perfect. We knew that before we bought the boat. We did have the issue of the flange separation, which I'm dubbing the great disassembly, accidental disassembly. I had previously just bolted that back together again. It's since then come to light that there's a chance that maybe an engine alignment should have been done to make sure that the mating of the flanges is accurate and straight. There's also a possibility that one or both of the flanges could have been damaged. All of that is more likely than something like a bent prop shaft or a bent prop itself. Both of those things are far more likely to make some kind of vibration throughout the RPM range, whereas what we have is the RPM affects the severity of the shake, but it's still very intermittent. We went hours with no shake, and we went hours with nothing but shake. And we also had sometimes where it was like every 10 seconds, every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds. Sometimes it was sea state related. So we're leaning towards suspecting that there's something wrong at the flange at the front end that is probably exacerbating the Cutlass bearing. So I already have all the bolts out again. I carefully inspected all the bolts. I've also marked both flanges, so I know how they were put together this time. I wish that I had a mark indicating how they were put together before the great accidental disassembly, but I don't. I also labeled each and every bolt head and put them back together with their partners. I wish I had labels for all of that before the accidental disassembly, but I don't. So now we're going to work on feeler gauge, checking the alignment of the mating surfaces of the flanges. And then from there, depending on what we find, we'll make some kind of a plan.
So what I found was on the lower starboard side, there is a gap of about 5 to 7 thousandths, somewhere in that area, at about 4:30 on the clock dial, roughly. In the upper port side, so kind of about 10:30, 11 o'clock, there's a gap of about 25 to 30 thousandths, somewhere in that area. My methodology for finding that was to mark both flanges across the top and then turn one of the flanges a quarter turn and measure all around, and then turn a quarter turn again and measure all around, and repeat and turn and repeat over and over again through all of the position combinations. The idea was to check to see that the two flange faces were true to each other as well as to their respective shafts. And they were! Yeah! The spacing remained consistent through all the position combinations, which also had the effect of helping us to eliminate, hopefully, the idea that potentially the prop shaft could also be bent. If the shaft was bent, one of those flanges would be moving as the rotation happened. Once we established that the alignment was likely the problem, I went to the internet and went about trying to learn how to align an engine. But I didn't get very far because we had way more important things to do.
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby? Interesting. I wonder what that means. I wonder what Hobby Lobby is. What did you just say?
I think this is the big secret.
What's a big secret? What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean you don't know?
It looks like a normal day store.
Well, I guess we'll have to figure it out in a minute, eh?
Yeah, I guess.
What's your face all about? So we came to a store. Aria doesn't know what it is. This is a Hobby Lobby. She doesn't know why we're here, and she's about to find out.
Code 715, please. Code 715.
What are all these things?
Beads.
We have like an aisle and a half of jewelry making stuff at this store. Happy birthday.
You get to buy a whole bunch of it.
We thought maybe you'd really like to look around here.
What do you say, kiddo?
Thank you.
So how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
For 40 minutes, unpacking all the stuff that we bought yesterday.
Oh my
We used-
poor child.
And more.
We used all of the money that you gave me and some more.
Oh yeah, we bought so much stuff.
I am set for beating. Okay.
I can't give you bumps, but
No birthday bumps. Should I give her the birthday bumps for you?
no, how about when we see her on Tuesday?
They're coming again?
No.
No. Aria,
There-
when you went on an airplane ride, where did you go?
We're going to Mexico! Yay! I'm gonna see Auntie and Parker and Maya and everybody!
Yeah. We leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow!
Yeah.
We leave tomorrow. We have to stay in a hotel overnight.
Yeah.
Who? You guys?
All of us. The three of us are going to see Grandma
We
and
leave tomorrow
Papa
on my
and
birthday?
Auntie. Yep. We tried
You're
to,
having a rest day tomorrow.
exactly. We tried to leave the day after your birthday, but it just didn't work out, so we have to leave tomorrow.
Yay! Second time seeing Grandma and Papa and first time seeing Parker and Myra!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that a good birthday?
Yeah!
So, yeah. We're going to Mexico.
Yeah. Apparently.
Guys. Yeah. We're going to go to Mexico. We're going to go see Kim's sister and brother-in-law and their kids, and then Kim's parents are also there right now, which is why there's been like extra ultra confusion on our part trying to figure out like how to make all the boat repairs and the traveling and everything all work. But we think we have to do a bit of a reset on our 6 months in the States, because even if I get the boat fixed and we didn't go to Mexico, I really don't think I have like about a week to get the boat fixed before we would run out of time to get out before our 6 months is up in the States.
Safely.
Anyway. Safely.
I
mean, like, we could go to Beaufort and go out to sea straight away and just not ignore the weather forecast and just go for it, but none of that's a great idea.
don't
so
want to.
exactly.
We're not doing that to ourselves.
So we're gonna go to Mexico, squeeze in a quick visit with them,
A week visit.
and that'll hopefully reset our 6 months in the States, and then we'll come back and we'll finish the repairs. Or maybe they're done before then. We'll see. We had to change our departure dates around a little bit, so it's going to be
Tight.
exceedingly difficult to get the alignment done, everything all squared away before we leave. But we'll see. Might be able to get it done. That's the plan for later today, is to spend a few hours working on aligning the engine, and hopefully maybe we can even go out motoring later today and see how that works. But somebody's got a birthday party today as well, because it is in fact actually Miss Aria's birthday tomorrow. What you got there?
Pens. Pencil crayons.
Oh boy.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aria. Happy birthday to you.
Don't smile. Don't smile. You can't smile when you're trying to hold the
So we're off to Mexico! If you haven't watched all of our episodes, you can check out the real-time update for the little bit from Mexico right here. It was so great to see my family and for the kids to play and get some cousin time in.
We would really like to take this time to really, really thank Kim's parents. There's no way we would have been able to make both our reset that we thought we needed happen, as well as be able to spend that time with her family in Mexico without their help. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile! Smile. Parker. Alright, so we are fresh back from Mexico, and we're straight back into engine alignments. We didn't get the engine alignment done before we left, so now we got to get it done. We got 4 days until the mechanic is here to do it for me. So that's my deadline to make it right before he gets here, and hopefully we can get it sorted out, and we don't need a Cutlass bearing and all the other things we talked about. We'll have to see. On each corner, the engine has a mount that is adjustable for up and down as well as side to side. So it isn't rocket science, but it is fiddly work with wrenches and pry bars to move the engine around, then check the alignment, then rinse and repeat. Many times. This might be it. So I just tightened up the last of the bolts that pin the engine in place and the engine mounts in place. And when I checked this a minute ago, we had between 3 and 5 thousandths of an inch clearance on the whole flange all the way around. So theoretically, that's beyond what the internet and some mechanics say is the goal. One last check. and then I'll bolt up the flanges using a standard crisscross method. Okay. It's all done. We don't know if it worked or not yet, but it's all bolted back together again. It's within the tolerances that it's supposed to be. So now all we can do is spin it and find out what happens. Yeah. So let's start up and go. Good. Pretty much got it. Okay. On to the next step. Testing.
All right. It's test drive time. Oh, that guy like ramped up at the same time as us, so it's hard to tell.
I thought the very same thing. I was like, oh, that's not a noise I want to hear.
Yeah, we're gonna go up motor for about an hour, we figure. It's pretty calm today, so the water's pretty calm, but we'll see what we can feel.
See if it feels better or worse or same or who knows what.
Fingers crossed.
I got my toes crossed too. Everything went well on that first motor. The vibration and shudder seemed to be totally gone. But as these things go, we weren't totally satisfied, maybe slightly gun shy. So we decided to keep our appointment with the mechanic. He came and looked at what I had done. We talked through the method that I had used. We motored pretty hard against the dock lines while he was checking the alignment and vibration and those types of things. And he said that he thought that it was as good as can be. His opinion and advice was that we should test it some more, and that if it stayed consistent, we should be okay to leave, but that we should monitor it closely. We're going upstream on the Neuse River, and we are hopefully gonna not chicken out and go underneath the Neuse River Bridge at right at Newburn, and we'll go over there and do that, and probably motor back, do a bunch of different RPMs and check the vibration. So far, we've been at it for 35 minutes or so, and every RPM that I've tried is vibration free. All right, well, we're getting awful damn close to going underneath our first bridge ever. Who's freaking out?
Not me!
I don't think I am.
Nah, we're fine. We're 55 feet, and this bridge is 65 feet, so...
And there's two marinas on the other side of it.
We've seen, I don't know how many people go underneath these bridges and all that kind of stuff. I know we're fine. I've seen enough YouTube videos to know that it's going to be a certain amount of pucker factor as we get to the bridge, looking up, and your perspective gets all screwed, like no matter what we do. So.
Yeah. So that's why this should be our first one.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, we decided to turn to the right and come over here towards Newburn, because we've never done it, and you know we're thinking about leaving sort of soon-ish. So we don't know if we'll get another chance. So it seemed like the perfect day.
It really is.
To do it.
Oh, the water does something weird under here.
Oh, man. I get why everybody says that's a super weird thing, because that is a super weird thing. Here comes the other one.
And this one's a tiny bit lower, but that must be the 65 from this one.
Right,
this one has all the lights.
Right underneath the green lights. They all have lights. This is under all of that. There. And you need to go let out check.
Bye-bye, pretty boat.
Bye, Atlas. Thanks for bringing. Oh, look, there's a huge military jet up there.
Wow.
Huge plane.
Oh my gosh, it's so smoky.
Oh yeah. Wow. What the heck? There must be a huge fire somewhere, because that's not all coming from that little fire over there. Yeah, there's got to be a huge forest fire somewhere. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there's so much smoke.
So smoky.
Like my eyes are watering.
That's where it's coming from.
That might be a bomber.
Yeah, it's a bomber.
Like a water bomber for putting fires out. That is a big, big plane. Whatever it is huge. But this is our first.
Mom's first dinghy ride.
This is our first family dinghy ride with all three of us. So we're just gonna go for a quick little cruise. We're gonna check out a few little things. We're gonna go to shore for like, I don't know, just a short walk. Kind of more as we're dorks and we like to practice things before we need to do them for real. And yeah, we're pretty much just having fun. We came under 2 bridges today. Yeah. We anchored out like a bunch of cruisers. Now we're going for a dinghy ride. Hopefully we can get back home before the smoke turns to like you can't see anything.
I know, I'm a little really concerned about
the direction. Yeah. And I'm hearing like wee-woos and everything. So anyway, I'm sure we're fine. We're not gonna worry about the smoke right now. We'll move on. So
we'll need to work on the engine. 5 seconds.
It was the first time we tried to get up on plane, and almost immediately we lost engine power and can't get the dinghy restarted. The wind is blowing in a direction where waiting any longer than I already have to get us moving back towards the mothership would be stupid. So
then we worked our way home.
We even managed to sail a little while, as you can see.
And we're going to leave it there for this week.
Please make sure you come back next week for what will be our very first episode of Season 2, where we actually make it away from Northwest Creek and the Neuse River and begin our journey south on the ICW towards the Bahamas, towards our future.
Jeez. For real this time. We aren't coming back.
At least for a while.
Bye.
See you next week.